Oh, good morning. You already know who it is, Target Individual CJBK. It's like 3:05 a.m. I'm not leaving from my home. I'm leaving from, well, I'm leaving from a good friend's home in the Bronx, where it all kind of like popped off for me. So, all right. Ha ha ha. That's why we're living vicariously through you. I say that because I remember during the first, let me see, had to be about maybe March or April. It was kind of warm because I remember them having on the guy might have had on like a t-shirt, and the woman, she had on, I think maybe like maybe not a blouse, but it was a either no sleeve or a short sleeve shirt. And I was eating at this bar. Where was this bar? It was Manhattan, right by the courthouse. Not quite Chinatown. Whiskey Tavern. It was the afternoon. I think it was that bar. And yeah, it was that bar. So I'm in there, and I decided I was going to go there for lunch after work. So I was like, all right, cool. Come here, get me something to eat. I'm going to chill and whatnot. This is like last year. So, remember not my handlers. The handlers made their presence known to me around October of 2020. So now I'm a few months in now. I done became a veteran of it. And this is back at that point. I was just learning to just like, okay, not everyone is basically asking for the vaccine card. So I was just like, all right, I'm gonna go out, try to enjoy myself, have some lunch, blah blah blah, whatever. So now I go in and I place my old food order, get my drink orders in. And I remember I'm sitting there and I'm kind of like, and automatically I kind of off rip get this feeling that, damn it, that's my train. I'm not running for it, but that's my train right there. I'm not going to catch it anyway. So, but, yeah, so I'm in there trying to enjoy my drinks, waiting on my food or whatever. And then I got the V2K going. Remember, it's 4 of them. 2 guys and 2 women. And then I could tell the couple sitting to the left of me. They're sitting at the bar. They're sitting at the bar. I'm sitting at this I'm sitting at this basically it's like a high table, stool to the wall on my right, against the wall. Yeah. And at some point, I remember at least acknowledging the fact that this black couple is a part of the, secret society, whatever. And then at one point, like, the guy, I think he's like eating, and then he like takes his napkin and he goes to like try to wipe his mouth, and he says, "Ha ha, that's why we're living vicariously through you." So I'm just like, And then I remember, if you go back a few videos, to the one where I say, "Share me." Yep, that was definitely my train. 19 minutes. Anyway, I'm sitting there, and then I hear him say, "Ha ha, that's why we're vicariously living through you." Oh. Right now the handler is saying Chris has no idea. And it's like, they could tell you that you have no idea. But you know that you have all the idea that you need to know. Nothing that no one outside of you can make you believe that you're not experiencing what you're believing, what you're hearing, what you're feeling, and even to some degree, what you're seeing. And remember, I kid you not, schizophrenia is not necessarily, I don't even think that, like, tell you the truth, I don't even know if I've ever met a true schizophrenic before. And then on top of that, like, when I meet other TIs and they actually show me like credible, evidence, like credible evidence of the things that, they say is happening in their life, it's like you already can kind of like tell that they're not talking from a sense, they're not speaking from a sense that, someone who's like mentally or emotionally distraught. Because they actually have something that's like a tangible evidence. Like they have it. Yes, they're using technology to try to basically manipulate and conceal their deception. Because remember, going back to the Bible and everything, Satan is an extremely powerful deceiver. But remember, we're all human, so Satan would have to basically give humans some type of device or something that, yes, walk back the other direction. So, Satan would basically have to give humans some type of device or something that can make humans just as nearly, or just a taste of how powerfully deceptive that he is, so then they can feel some amount of that power. Because remember, Satan has to offer someone something that they would want, something that's lusting, something that's a sense of power, something that is basically, something that almost feels like that's not even humanly possible. Satan has to offer someone something like that to get them hooked. Why? Because, well, he has his ulterior motives too. Yeah. Pay attention to the surrounding backgrounds. So if you ever want to know if people are listening to everything that's why I let God kind of use me. I let God use me to talk through me, because all of the words that I'm saying, I try to be very patient, and I allow them to freely flow through me. Why? Because when I speak the way I speak, the enemy has no choice but to show exactly where they are at all times. It's my objective and it's my duty as a follower of God's light and peace and love and fair judgment to not respond. I have to be above them. I have to be bigger than them. Everything that we do as empowered individuals, everything that we do as enlightened individuals. Because if you get to where I'm at, and then possibly I'm trying to get to places where I've met some people who are TIs, and you know what, I've met some TIs, or there are some TIs online who basically give off this crazy energy power where they know everything that's going on and they feel everything that's going on, but yet they have the power to actually just like...
There is a Manhattan-bound Local 6 train to Brooklyn Bridge City Hall, 13 minutes away.
Completely turn... It's almost as if like they turn their body off and then they turn their spiritual body on, and they don't necessarily they don't feel their pain. Like they feel it, but they don't acknowledge it. It's like they turn their brain off and turn their spiritual body on. You know, I'm trying to get to that place. Right now, I believe I've mastered my peace. You know, and of course, you know, Lucifer and all the other fallen angels and the other possessors. I'm going to get into that too, because that was something else I wanted to touch on. Because all of this that I'm saying is about to lead up to something. They all will eventually expose themselves. Because if they can't get the right reaction out of you, remember, they're reading our brainwave activity, you know, at all times. And then we're also in a digital world. Just because we can't see it and they have like this filter, they have like a digital filter over our eyes. And every so often you might be able to notice it. So like, if you ever notice like a flickering over your eyes, like it literally feels like you know what a strobe light, it literally feels like there is or you know how like when you face your camera towards like one of those old school box TVs and you see the flickering and then it's like going down and then it's like the flickering and it's going down. I've noticed that several times now. And then that's when including with that, I remember reading this document. It was, I'm trying to remember because I know I posted some pages of this document on my Facebook page. But it's a document that basically talks about how everything on this earth basically has a digital copy of itself on the internet. There's a digital copy of everything. If it has a frequency, it has a digital copy of itself online. Remember, and then also, I'm still getting into knowledge of this part too, about the Web 1, Web 2, Web 3. I'm still coming into knowledge of that myself. Web 3 is basically kind of like, I believe that's the part when they're like, oh, we'll be able to, basically look and then see digital data everywhere, and we'll be able to interact with it in ways where we no longer need a device to actually interact with it. So trust and believe when I tell you there is parts of society that are testing that technology out as we speak. Now here's the best part about it. While they're testing this technology out, they're also the guinea pigs. Like we're basically, when you think about it, we are the guinea pigs that are having the weaponization of the technology tested out on us. We're having the weaponization tested out on us. While those who are obedient, they're basically being they're basically being tested out for the healing purposes, or if this thing can or if this technology can basically manage their memories better, or maybe they won't necessarily feel pains like they used to anymore, like body ailments and things of that sort. The show Black Mirror, there's a lot in that show that's like really diving into a lot of the technology that we're experiencing. But yeah, so back to Possessor, right? There's a film that just came out, and I think it was either 2021 or early this year, called Possessor. And I mentioned this in the past before. It's basically about this woman who works for this company or this corporation, right? And they're basically a corporate, a corporation they're like hired hitmen, right? And what they do is they use this technology, right, where the woman, she gets into this saline solution tank or whatever, and she has to put on this kind of like this headwear, kind of like the cap that you would do, the cap that you would put on for what is it? Neurological technology. And what happens is somehow the technology, it finds a specific person. Usually it's someone who's close to the target, right? And then her mind and her subconscious will fuse with the person who's close to the target, and then she will then be able to control every facet of that person's life remotely, just off of her thoughts alone. It's almost as if like she basically puts his consciousness to sleep. She basically puts his consciousness to sleep with this technology while she's operating as him the entire time. And then she would basically look for the target, and then she would kill the target using the person that she possessed. That's pretty much how this movie goes, right? Now, I say this because I wanted to bring up the idea of trust, because another YouTuber I've spoken to not too long ago, oddly enough, she actually commented on one of my previous videos. She commented on one of my previous videos about saying she wanted to. She wanted to talked to me because she was having a hard time trusting anybody. I don't know who he talking to. Like, well, he might be just chilling or whatever. But all right. Anyway, so yeah. So she was telling me that she's having a hard time trusting anybody or whatever the case may be. So I'm like, all right, I'll try to like give her a call maybe tomorrow while I'm at work. 6 minutes. I'm gonna just walk this way. That way he's not as much of a distraction. So, yeah, so like I told you, I'm basically trying to see if I can find some type of, love life at all during this whole targeting ordeal. And I figured, you know what? I'm going to try with someone I at least known years prior to me even really coming into knowledge of this stuff. Now, knowing, like I told you, she's been, she was already showing me red flags about her being, kind of like manipulated in a sense where, she's been feeling like these certain aches and then like these strange headaches and then the ringing in her ears she told me about. Then she told me about how, and that's the flickering. Okay. So this light bulb is not flickering, right? But at a certain angle. So I'm like right now, my eyes are looking straight ahead, but yet there's a flickering light. There's this flickering light, and it's like going along it's like happening along the bottom of my eyes. The light is not flickering at all, but yet when I'm looking straight ahead, it's like in the peripheral vision of my sight, I am seeing flickering light. I kid you not. So with that being said, I know that there's definitely digital data all around us. It's just that I'm not being allowed to see what it is. But you know what? I'm glad I can't. Because that just lets me know that I do not bear the mark of the beast. Yep. That is my way of knowing I do not bear the mark of the beast, because I cannot see the digital data that everyone else or most other people can see. If you can see digital data with your human eyes, you are no longer human. So, now, and then with that being said, if you're no longer human, that means God does not have favor over you no more. So when you leave your flesh body, you are not going to see God in the way that you want to see God. God is going to tell you, depart from me. And when God tells you, depart from me, that is it. Your soul is done. There's no afterlife, no eternal life. There's nothing for you after that. God just told you, depart from me, because why? You chose to serve a different master. You chose to serve the beast. You chose to basically do the very thing that he's been telling us not to do for centuries. And I kid you not. God is still a very presence in this world. God is still a very presence in this world. Whether you can see him or not, or whether you believe him or not.
Local 6, train to Brooklyn Bridge City Hall. Approaching the station, please stand away from the platform edge.
But anyway, so, right. Now, like I tell you, I get V2K. So, and it's 4 different people. And then sometimes on the weekend, and this is the interesting part, on the weekend, it becomes almost like a party for them because it's more people watching. Because remember, this is all live stream. It's all live broadcasting. I guess people may chime in and they'll pay a premium. They'll pay a premium. They'll pay a premium so that they can basically they'll pay a premium so that they can probably have extra access to your body, maybe even be able to send their own frequency, damages or damaging frequency to your body, and then very rarely you would actually hear somebody new, jump into your body area network. So there's been times where like I kid you not, when I've learned to master my peace and just go ahead and just like, I chose to walk and move just like Jesus did. So it's like literally having complete and utter carefreeness about your own physical life in a sense, because basically it just becomes like, well, if you know that there are people who are coming after your life, but yet they're not going to move in the way that you're used to them moving. They're going to try to be very secretive about it, just like how Lucifer and most Satan is the most deceptive and secretive one there is. So if they're all going to try to move like Satan, then it's like, you got to remember, Jesus basically had the intuition to know every single person around him and their intentions, because that's just how spiritually connected he was to God. God basically let him know who was for him and who was against him. But in order to really truly have that peace, you have to let go. It's like you have to learn to let go of your life in a sense. And I know that sounds scary, but that's literally what true faith actually is. When you have that true faith, that true godly faith, you learn to just let go of everything that you can't control. You learn to let go of like everyone, who you think is against you or who you think is for you. You let it go. You let them all go. And you basically just live your life. You basically live your life in a sense where everything, no matter what it is, everything is going to work out for your good. No matter what it is, everything, whether it's something bad or it's something good, it's all going to work out for your good. Why? It's because there's always a lesson in everything. If it happened to you, it happened to you for a reason. If it happens to you, it happened to you for a reason. Now people will say, oh, well, if you weren't talking so much about the secret society and you weren't talking so much about doing this, then these bad things wouldn't be happening to you. No. It happened to me because they saw the true power potential that I had, that I probably didn't realize I had. They saw it and they wanted to go after it. That's why it happened to me. They saw that I was much more powerful than they are. So they decided that they wanted to try to see if they can break me down. That's why it happened to me. And you know what? It's kind of like thank you, God, for waking me up to my true potential, my true power potential. And I'm still on the cusp. I still haven't even put my whole body in yet. Like, I still haven't fully given myself over to God yet. Like, and I know there's still some parts of this world that I still hang to, you know. But I'm learning to develop more and more faith as time passes. You know, so that's why like every day that every day that I'm breathing, I'm giving honor to God no matter what, because the fact that I'm still breathing means God is trying to use me to give strength to someone else. That's how I'm interpreting it. Because if my job in this earth was done, God would have made it so that I was taken out already. With all their technological capabilities and all of their connections in the judicial system and law enforcement and everything like that, God could have allowed them to go ahead and just do whatever they would with me already. But seeing how I also realize there's a lot of money involved in this, they're going to use me as well. They're going to use me to generate money for themselves because, you know, this is a live stream. And this is also some type of means of funds for them. So basically, they're not going to try to, you know, take me out too quickly because they want to stretch it out. They want to try to see how much money they can get out of this. You know, and then there's also that whole thing about how someone can basically set up a life insurance policy or on someone on the internet and don't even necessarily have to show any real proof that they know the person. There's that part I heard about, you know, but yeah, so but anyway, going back to, you know, my friend, and you know, there's been some times where I thought I might have like heard them saying some things. And you know what? This is when you use that spiritual discernment. This is when, like, I remember what, you know, one YouTuber, I don't know her real name, but her name, like, her YouTube name is Still Standing Strong, or Still Standing Tall, I think. And she always say, don't react. No, she always say, stand back, don't react, let God handle it. And I've clutched on to that. I held on to that because she was like one of the first YouTubers that I got to, you know, really like trust and believe in, you know, in the beginning when it came to this target and stuff. And then it's like you also got to remember that, like, Jesus Christ was like one of the first major, you know, targeted individuals. And Jesus even had the intuition and the knowledge of knowing all of those who were not for him. But he still loved them anyway. He still kept them around him. He still gave to them. He still, you know, made sure they had, even though he knew that they were going to stab him in the back, or they was going to turn on him or deny him and everything. Like, he knew. But you know what? I said, that's a powerful way of living right there. To know that, to have the idea that somebody could possibly turn on you, even though you could have known them for many years, or, you know, you could have known every situation about them that they were going through, and then they could still, at a drop of a dime, just turn on you because, you know, there's so many like there's so many like people going against you, and they don't want it. They don't want the smoke. They don't want the smoke. They don't want no problems. They don't want no beef with the majority of people that are coming after them or coming after you. So what they'll do, they'll flip sides on you. They say, I don't know him. And Jesus told him to his face, you're going to deny me 3 times. Jesus told him, he was like, you're going to deny me 3 times. I'm just letting you know, I know exactly who you are and what you're going to do. You're going to deny me 3 times. So it's like, when it comes to like trying to decipher people you can trust, let go. Let go of the concept of trust to begin with. Because think about it like this. If you are allowing them to be in your life, then that means, or rather, let me not even put it as you allowing them to be in your life. If God is still allowing them to be in your life, they're there for a reason. And they're there to fit a specific reason. They're there to fit a specific reason. They're there to fit a specific reason. And you know what? I woke up this morning, and strangely enough, I woke up before my alarm went off. And I looked at the time, it was like 2:50. My alarm usually goes off at 3 a.m. on one phone, and if my other phone is on, it'll go off at 2:30 and 3 o'clock. So I don't know if I woke up on my own, because before going to sleep, I was just thinking to myself, oh, I gotta be up so early for work. And for whatever reason, when I woke up, my friend, she was, lying to the right side of me. And, she was kind of sitting up, and she was whispering something. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, what could she be whispering about while I'm asleep, or while I'm kind of like halfway asleep? So then I said, you know what? I'm going to put it out of my mind. That's one way that you learn to maintain your peace, and you learn to maintain your sanity. You let it go. Because no matter what, God is going to handle all those around you who are trying to work against you. God is literally looking for all those who are going to have the ultimate faith that God still controls everything that happens in this world. Not Lucifer, not the beast, not Baphomet, no other human. God is still controlling things. That's what God is looking for. God is looking for those who are going to have the ultimate faith in, the divine control over everything in this universe. When you learn to let go, and you learn to acknowledge that God is not going to let anything happen to you that you cannot handle. I kid you not. Golly, I gotta get my chip tooth fixed. You will see yourself coming to a whole new level of power. You'll find yourself coming into a whole new level of, toughness, mental stability, so many different things. And I kid you not. Because the handlers are mad. They're like, they're basically like trying to create some type of like scheme or whatever to say they're basically like he definitely got to go to prison because every tactic that they have thrown at me, I basically let it melt off to the side. Or even in a sense, every tactic that they have thrown at me, I feel like I slowed down time and I stepped to the side and watched it go by me. And then I analyzed every detail of every tactic that they do. And then even with some of the attacks that they do against my body, I took my mind I basically separated myself from my body. And I basically analyzed everything that they do. Every pain, every throbbing, every pulse, everything that they do to my body, I analyze it to a T. And then the better part about it all is I cross-reference everything that I feel and I look for it online, but in the reverse. So like when I say in the reverse, I basically, like how I started to really come to knowledge of like frequencies and stuff like that, I started learning, first thing that came to mind was resonance. Resonant frequency. That was the first thing that really came to my mind about learning how to basically use frequencies to destroy something. You know, when you find out about the, like the opera singer who can hit a certain pitch in their voice where they can shatter glass. Then you find then what developed from learning about resonant frequency to destroy a material, you then find out that there are medical and technological advances that basically use resonant frequency to heal, right? So if they can actually use an EEG to read brain waves, they can use an fMRI to have a functional image of different parts of the body, muscles, cartilage, all these different things, and then they can basically, I like how people start looking over when they realize like we're talking about certain things. But anyway, and then you start to realize, then you come across the knowledge that, light, like near infrared light, is actually being used, or what they call photobiomodulation. Near infrared light is used that can penetrate, through certain amplifications. It can penetrate through the skin, through the skull, and through different layers of the brain and affect different nodes, different neurons and nodes within the brain. And then you realize that they can basically, that near infrared light doesn't necessarily have to be from a stationary device. It can literally be from something that just has a near infrared, that's something that just has near infrared hardware, like our phones. The facial recognition sensors are near infrared. And they're not just like one laser. It's multiple lasers. On YouTube, there's a video you can look up. Where a guy, I think it says unlocking your phone's lasers or something like that. And he shows that it's not just one laser, it's multiple, dozens. He uses a night vision camera to show the many different multiple dots of near infrared lasers that are in the facial recognition facial recognition sensors. your phone, your smartwatch, they all have sensors built on it that basically read your body's bioelectric data. Your body's bioelectric information, like your heart rate, whether you're perspiring, all of that stuff gets translated. It gets translated from bioelectric information into data, coded data, that can then be uploaded to an encrypted cloud server. And if you want to know that if this is true, LPWAN, Low Powered Wireless Area Network. Oh wow, I actually remember that. Low Powered Wireless Area Network. Home monitoring. This is something that the medical industry is already doing, where they basically give patients who's supposed to be like, sickly, elderly, disabled, or whatever they may have, like, disabilities and things of that sort. They give them devices. These devices are already connected to their medical cloud server. These devices then are used as like a nurse at their home, and it records things about their body, everything from heart rate, blood pressure, a tablet that basically has near infrared facial recognition sensors on it, the near infrared sensors on it. It basically takes all of that data about the patient and it transfers it to a cloud, and then at a remote location, wherever the doctor or the nurse is at, they then look at all of the data that was transferred from their device. Now, like I said, when it comes to trust, lose that concept. Almost like it's almost kind of like lose that concept. Once you have been awakened to becoming an empowered, targeted individual, ETI, empowered, targeted individual, lose that word and that definition from your mind. Now you are moving on intuition. Don't worry about trust. Don't worry about trust anymore. You don't have to worry about trusting people anymore. Because what you will do is when you start to give yourself to God fully, you will no longer need the word trust anymore. Now you are expecting people to prove you wrong. You will move in this world with a sense of power and a sense of awareness and a sense of alertness that you will look at a person and you will think of so many different possibilities of what they'll do, and you're actually only just giving them the option to prove that they're not exactly who you were thinking that they were already. The best part about it is, you know what you're going to do. You're not going to give in to any fear. You're not going to give in to any anger. You're not going to give in to anything that remotely is a lower vibrational emotion or energy level. You are at peace. The next level above peace is enlightenment, and enlightenment is as high as you'll go. You do not go below love. Love is probably like, I think, maybe the fourth or fifth from the top. You do not go below love. Everything else below love is beneath you. Let go of the concept of trust. Put your faith in God and move accordingly. Jesus knew that Judas was going to turn on him. Jesus knew everybody around him that was going to turn on him. He knew, and he still let them walk around him. It's like, do you understand how powerful that is? Do you understand how powerful that is to know you know exactly who your enemies are and they're watching you. You know exactly who they are. All you gotta do is just not do anything that will make you look bad in the eyes of other people. Because remember, they have to lie and slander you to make you look bad. But if your actions do not match anything that these people are saying, then now you're forcing those who are being manipulated to have to think for themselves. Is he actually as bad as they're saying that he is? Let go of the concept of trust. Let go of the concept of trust. Trust is for worldly people. The concept of trust is for people who live of the world. The concept of trust is for people who actually worry and fear for the future. Let go. Let go. Put your faith in God, and you work accordingly. You do what is necessary for you to obtain the things that you need in life. Keyword, need. God doesn't care about what you want. God is going to make sure you have what you need. Because if God is using you, God is not looking for you to have what everybody else is having. God is looking for you to have what you need to be able to accomplish what God needs you to do in this world. Maybe you're not meant to be famous. Because, well, when you think about it, what exactly is fame? What exactly is being, monetarily wealthy? Because if you look at it from another perspective, people who are famous and monetarily wealthy, they are not happy people. And if they are happy, they did a lot of odd things to get to the comfort of happy, to get to the level of happy that they're at. I don't know. It's like I know, but it's like to really try to help people overcome the things that's basically painstaking and hard to get over or whatever. You just have to really gotta let go. Only you are responsible for mastering your piece. 80-60. No one else can master your piece but you. No one else on this planet can help you obtain the things you need but God, in a sense, because God uses people to help provide for you. Just like how Satan uses people to work against you. Remember, we're all basically, while we're in these flesh bodies, we're all basically being pulled in different directions. The guy here and then the guy here. We're all being pulled in different directions. Is more along the lines of, who are you going to listen to? the handlers who are over me, they're pissed because they thought I was going to be easy. I remember in the first like month, the first month or two, when they slowly start to realize I'm not going to bend my will to them. First things out of their mouth was, he's not a real Pisces. They said he's not a real Pisces. Because I guess I was supposed to just be easy to control, right? They was like, he's not a real Pisces. You know, they thought I forgot that I hear one of the guys go, oh. But anyway, you know, and they're like, we're a secret society. I don't need secrets. I don't need a secret society. Never needed it. And if you was helping me along my life, then I guess God used you to help me along my life, you know. But hey, we are living in a world where nothing is finite and everyone is susceptible to being pulled in any type of way. And if they don't have God in their life, then they're going to get pulled to that far, far left. So lose the concept of trust. The only thing you can truly trust is what you can do, how you will react, and how you perceive things. You are the only one you can actually trust. You are the only one you can actually trust. You are literally the only one you can actually trust. Not too long ago, there was maybe about 3 years ago, there was a news report about this young dude who was trying to become a rapper, and his mom, I don't know, maybe he was upset with his mom about something. She had a pretty big life insurance policy, so he killed his mother, and they was living a pretty decent life. They was living a pretty decent life. But he basically, I think he either killed his mother or had his mother killed. I felt... That was weird. I felt this weird splash of water hit the right side of my ankle. So, yeah, know your enemies. But anyway, yeah, and remember, I'm in New York City, so out of all the states and cities in this country, in North America, or the United States, I think when you want to talk targeted individuals in cities, New York, like Los Angeles, like Chicago, Miami, you know, if it's a busy city with a large population, trust and believe, those are the areas where you're going to find the most heaviest targeting ever. Nope, not doing it. I was like, nope, not doing it. I looked over to my right, and this guy that looked homeless looked like he was about to start smoking a cigarette with K2. It was too early in the morning to be smelling all that, so I left. I was like, yo, I'm half. I barely got any sleep. I'm not trying to smell all that right now. You know. So anyway, yeah. Just put your faith in God. Don't worry about I'm only doing this because there's more people in this car. And it's like technically we're supposed to be masked up. Me honestly, but I'll do it to make other people happy, you know, or feel comfortable. To this day, not one. I guess call me the good Jesus, you know. But hey, I'm not testing God when I say that, but I'm just saying, not one yet. Yeah. So, yeah, and then now they got the monkeypox vaccine trying to come out, and they're gonna have, you know, some other viruses breaking loose at somewhere. It's going to be a whole lot that's coming out, right? But remember, it's all a part of the Agenda 2030. It's all a part of Agenda 2030. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Yeah, I'm going to end it here. Well, again, forget about that concept of trust. Once you have become an empowered, targeted individual, you are no longer of the world. And I'm going to leave you with this one scripture. God said, because ye was of the world, no, it said, if ye was of the world would love you. Translate, if you worked according to the world, then the world, people of the world, will love you. Going back to the scripture, because ye was of the world, and I have chosen you from the world will hate you or hate thee. Translating, because you were working among the world, you were working according to the things of the world, and everybody in it and everything in it. You were out here being just as sinful or doing everything like the other people were doing and whatnot. You didn't know that it was spiritual warfare. Or you didn't fully have the knowledge of it being that you were in spiritual warfare. But God still seen something in you. A part of Him, a part of God was in you to basically choose you out of everyone else in this world out of everyone else in this world that could have been persecuted and hated. God chose you because there's something more special about you than everyone else. And because God chose you, that's why everyone else is hating on you That's why everyone else is lying about you. That's why everyone else is trying to destroy you. That's why everyone else is trying to deny you of human rights. That's why everyone else is basically trying to deceive you. That's why everyone else is trying to suppress your powers. Because God chose you out of everyone else, that is why everyone else is working against you. Because God chose you to come into full knowledge of his true glory and mercy over you. That is why the world hates you. And on that note, take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time.